On April 12th, the planets Jupiter and Neptune will be conjunct at 23 degrees 59 minutes in the sign of Pisces. This is one of the most positively aspected transit patterns that will occur this year. With a 1-degree orb, the combined energy of these two planets will be in effect from April 8th through April 17th. The planet Jupiter represents our desire for growth, freedom, faith, and spirituality. It also represents optimism, enthusiasm, and generosity. Jupiter is how we grow and expand our understanding of the world. The glyph of Jupiter represents the crescent of the soul moving to the cross of matter, translated as the soul entering and working through matter. The planet Neptune represents the concept that reality is an illusion. Neptune dissolves all boundaries and structures to reveal the ultimate truth. It encompasses our ability to dream and comprehend the infinite potential of the universe. Neptune has a strong spiritual nature, your connection with the divine. It can also be experienced as vision, fantasy, escapism, or delusion. The glyph of Neptune represents the crescent of the soul descending to the cross of matter, translated as the soul descending into matter. Jupiter and Neptune are considered the co-rulers of Pisces, with Jupiter being the traditional ruler, while Neptune is the modern one. The fact that the co-rulers are conjunct adds to the strength of this aspect. Needless to say, both planets are very happy in the mutable water sign of Pisces. Always changing and adapting, Pisces operates in the realm of emotion and feelings. Since Pisces tends to be psychic, it can instinctively pick up on what is happening and absorb negative emotions from others and, quite possibly, transmute them. With both Jupiter and Neptune as rulers, it is very natural that Pisces energy is about faith and spirituality. The glyph for Pisces shows the two halves of the circle of spirit, which are linked together, thus connecting the higher and lower vibrational self. Putting it all together, Jupiter is growth, freedom, faith, and spirituality. Neptune is about spirituality, vision, fantasy, escapism, or delusion. As with all transits, you have the opportunity to choose your path. You can choose the mystic, the sage, or the warrior. The mystic path offers a good opportunity for spiritual development because you can more easily understand esoteric principles. Due to the collective natures of Neptune, Jupiter, and Pisces, it is more likely that you may also have profound spiritual experiences during this time. The path of the sage offers an unusual time of expansion, big answers, and alternatives to the real world. The path of the warrior is the fight for freedom and truth, just as honorable, if not harder. It is up to you to choose your path. Do you have 24-degree placements? This conjunction takes place at 23 degrees Pisces, 59 minutes. For our purposes, 24 degrees. If you have any planets within 2 or 3 degrees of 24, you will feel the impact. Both planets will stay within 1-degree orb of that point from April 8th through April 17th. When dealing with planetary transits, you look at the sign and the house of the planet in your natal chart around 24 degrees. That will tell you in what areas of your life will be affected and how you'll feel the energies. Jupiter and Neptune are not isolated. This transit chart has 4 planets and 2 lunar nodes between 22 and 24 degrees. The most significant aspect is, of course, the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction itself. Jupiter and Neptune also aspect the North Node in Taurus and trine the South Node in Scorpio. We've discussed the North Node in Taurus previously, a stabilizing of the overall energy in the world. The positive aspects with the nodes lend support to this conjunction. While Saturn is only semi-sextile to Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, it is square the lunar nodes in Taurus-Scorpio and sextiles the Sun in Aries. Jupiter and Neptune are located at the midpoint of the Sun-Saturn sextile. The focused energy of the Sun-Saturn sextile will be directed at the midpoint, which will give the conjunction even more strength. Overall, this is a good transit as it helps materialize in practical form the positive manifestation of Jupiter conjunct Neptune. The fixed star Markab, located in the saddle of the winged horse Pegasus, is located at 23 degrees 47 minutes Pisces and within 12 minutes of Jupiter and Neptune. Markab has a Mars-Mercury energy, which will emotionally and intellectually energize the conjunction. Overall, these aspects are all very positive, so look to this period of time to be more positive, both spiritually and emotionally. 175 years ago, between September 23rd and 24th, in 1846, astronomers discovered Neptune, the 8th planet orbiting our Sun. The first Jupiter-Neptune conjunction after that discovery was on March 17, 1856, in the sign of Pisces. It didn't occur in Pisces for another 166 years, until this upcoming April 12, 2022 conjunction. Jupiter conjunct Neptune occurs every 13 years. However, the sign of the planets will change. Astrologers like to look at what happened during a similar configuration to better assess the impact of the upcoming one. In this case, the last time this same specific planetary configuration was in the sign of Pisces. During the previous conjunction in 1856, America was in the midst of a spiritual revolution. There was a tremendous growth in spiritualist clubs, lecture societies, and seance circles. Trance mediums and spiritual lectures abound. The following decades would see the creation of spiritualist camps like Lilydale in New York and Cassadaga in Florida, which are still in operation today. Organizations like the Theosophical Society and the New Thought movement were founded in subsequent decades. Today, theosophical studies are still being taught in the villages by Judith Snow. Finally, let's take a quick look at how this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction maps to the U.S. Sibley chart. The U.S. chart is now in the midst of a Neptune opposition, with the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction opposing the U.S. natal Neptune at 22 degrees 25 minutes Virgo. We've previously discussed the impact of censorship enforced by this opposition between the 3rd and the 9th houses in the U.S. chart. Control of the media by technology companies, broadcasting, and newspapers has effectively worked to block out any unsanctioned communications. This will be countered by the rapid growth of alternate media sources that are provided over the internet. So the 3rd and 9th house issues are likely to continue to plague Americans until the last near opposition in December 2022. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation on the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction of April 12, 2022.